And that's why, again, it's that first thing where you're recognizing that you have a smell coming out of, coming from seemingly nowhere, and wondering perhaps maybe it is coming to your soul sense for a reason,
Hello, and welcome to the Constance Messmer Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Today, I want to talk to you about ClairOlfaction, exercises that you can do to strengthen and enhance this soul awareness having to do with the sense of smell. I hope you get a little bit from our time together, something that will kind of strengthen your expanded awareness to the subtle sensations and the subtle experiences that might be happening right under your nose. I couldn't help but say that. As you probably know, smells are linked to emotional memory. So, as part of your exercising this muscle, I suggest that as you're kind of thinking about previous times in your life, I suggest that you actually try to recall what the smells were that were associated with the experience. Now, this is really easy if you're thinking about baking, chocolate chip or raisin oatmeal cookies with grandma, but it might be, spending time with grandpa in the garage, or grandpa in the garden, or other kind of things, maybe dad or mom repairing your bicycle and the grease or the whatever on the chains or the oil or, whatever. God, I can just smell that like grease. Can't you just smell that greasy stuff when you had to lube up a chain? God, you can just smell it when I talk about it. So this is great. This is part of the exercise, right? Is just picturing the not only the experience, but smelling the experience. This is, and because what happens with that then is you're really working. You are working the physical muscle if you take this experience into other scenarios, but when in memory, you're working the psychic muscle of it all. Now, how can you take it and exercise it in the physical? Well, certainly you can go into a coffee shop or something and kind of process what are the different smells that I smell in here. You can do this on any location. Listen, I would not want to do it in the gym. That's why I'm going to suggest we use the coffee shop, because then you can kind of tune into the cinnamon smell when you're sprinkling the cinnamon on your drink, or maybe there's chocolate, something like a chocolate pastry or something that you can smell because somebody's wanted warmed up or whatnot. Just kind of try to locate all the different smells as you sit there and sip your favorite beverage. That's a great way to work with the physical, but it will still enhance that center of your brain that processes the sense of smell. And even though your soul is picking it up when you're getting it as a psychic connection, even though your soul is picking it up when there's no associated physical reason for the smell in the room or in your experience, working the physical is going to help enhance the spiritual. Trust me, it's all linked, right? It is all linked. So that's why I think when you're in your meditation or even in your day-to-day life and you're drawing on a memory that, let's say it's actually like, wait, what made me even think of that memory? And perhaps you were having an odor cued memory where you were like, I don't know, brushing your teeth and the mint toothpaste reminded you of the mint, whatever, putting mint on the holiday cookies, or, that really intense green mint, or maybe it was pink, the pink mint. So I want you to really follow why your memories are occurring, or why or where some sense of smell is coming from, right? These are different ways to kind of exercise this muscle. I was like, God, this is going to be a tricky one. But actually, actually, when I think about it, it's not really a tricky one to exercise. And it's important because we've gone through this before. Spirit, when you commune with spirit realm, a lot of times loved ones from the other side will show up with the cologne or the perfume or the lotions or the smells they were associated with, or maybe the careers they had. I've told you before about the fisherman that it was the whole room was filled with the smell of fish, or maybe people working in a garage had the smell of the grease and the oil associated, or farming smells and barns. And also, sense of smell can come out as an indication in making choices. You remember the foul egg smell, stuff like this. So clairolfaction comes in really handy. And if you don't pay attention, or if you don't like all of a sudden breathe in the smell that's coming at you, you could really miss it. It's a really fun psychic center, soul awareness to work with. It's really fun, but it really is about you paying attention and following the smell and noticing even the subtle smells. And again, the way to exercise it actually can be both in the physical, by going into something like a coffee shop or a place where there's lots of smells, maybe even a restaurant. Ooh, have fun with that and try to pick up the different smells of the food at the distance, right? It's physical, but it will still trigger this psychic spiritual. Or work on the soul level, the psychic spiritual soul level, working with your memories and really calling to mind, right, the smells that are associated with those times. Cut grass, all these kind of things, Do you remember back when we did the morning favorite beverage exercise and I was having you smell the coffee or smell the tea or hot chocolate? It was because I was trying to work with you to develop that sense of imaginal realm smells. Sometimes in my meditations, when I put myself in a garden and just surround myself in that space, I imagine smelling the flowers. Or if I'm sitting, imagine myself, I'm from Iowa, the Iowa soil, the good soil, not the processed soil, but the real true dark, black, rich soil that's so gorgeous. It smells so great. Maybe you have to be from Iowa to know what I'm talking about, or the Midwest, or come from a place where you know soil, or maybe you play in your garden and you're like, oh, I know the smell of soil. She's talking about the dirt. And, I have such vivid memory, smell, scent memories. And so sometimes when I've had scary places, like there was a woman I didn't really care for when I was growing up, and she used to use Jergens hand lotion, right? So when I smell that, I'm like, something's not right here. This is not for my best good, So sometimes, and I do think that that's my soul. I think that in those situations, on another level, because the soul is not fully in the body, I don't think, that I think that in those moments we're sending our self messages, but also it doesn't have to be us, right? It could be guardian angels or our guide, but it could be our higher self. It could be messages from spirit realm. But I invite you to kind of notice when you have these ethereal smells come in that maybe no one else can smell, or, when you're in a random place, maybe you're driving and there's a smell and you're like, whoa, I'm I'm in the middle of nowhere driving and I'm getting smells of whatever that would obviously have no physical connection, and go into it, enter into it. Like, what is this trying to bring me to? What is this trying to trigger in me? What is this trying to have me process or work through? So sometimes I find that smells definitely can be associated with people that are on the other side, that are coming forward to deliver messages or check in on me or bring their love, definitely bring their love. But it can also be coming at me for a soul lesson. So that's why, and I'm supposed to follow the soul lesson. Like, what is this? What's this about? What is this reminding me of? What am I supposed to do with this, or where am I supposed to take it? And that's why, again, it's that first thing where you're recognizing that you have a smell coming out of, coming from seemingly nowhere, and wondering perhaps maybe it is coming to your soul sense for a reason. Really, that stuff doesn't happen without a reason. And so to take the time to go into it, enter into it, maybe it is someone, maybe it's someone you know, maybe it's someone you don't know, and just to explore that. So what would be a homework assignment? Well, clearly, if you notice any random smell, then, follow it and go, who's here? Or what's that about? Or what does it remind me of? And what is my soul aching for me to process or think about or remember, maybe for my own joy, benefit, or healing, or soul purpose? Or you could also, like I said, go into deeper meditation where you imagine yourself in places where that has a nice memory of smell, and really put yourself in that scene as you close your eyes and, walk down that lane and smell the trees or whatever it would be, or smell, grandma's bread baking in the oven or dad's banana bread baking. These are all things that as you exercise that in your imagination, in your own imaginal realm, you will be more prone to work with it when it comes to you or at you from beyond, whether it's from spirit or your own soul. That's what I invite you to consider, to work on ClairOlfaction. It doesn't happen a whole lot in my experience for me, but when it happens, it's pretty powerful in that it has meaning behind it. It doesn't always mean that it's strong. Quite often it's very strong for me, but sometimes it is fleeting. And you got to catch it. You got to recognize it's happening and not let it just pass you by, because then it's a missed opportunity. Yeah. So enjoy. Mostly with ClairOlfaction, because it's not as prominent as some of the others. It's about really setting the intention of like, okay, this week I'm going to really work on noticing my sense of smell, and really just taking the time to follow the thread of the smell and to see if it has a physical connection or a physical basis, or if it's from a spiritual experience that's happening on a soul level, and just following it. What's it mean? What's it about? Is it a memory of my own that is an answer to a question that I've been kind of pondering? Is it a loved one that's come through? Is it an indication of, just something that I need to consider in my life? All these kinds of things. So it's really about paying attention, right? And again, you're going to have a fun time with this. I just know it. I know it. And especially if you go hang out at the coffee shop or in a restaurant, smelling everywhere. Like, what are you smelling? Not so much if you decide to do it at the gym. No, I would not do that. All right. So I'm really glad you joined me in this little adventure to work on exercising ClairOlfaction and really trying to strengthen this soul center. Okay. So don't forget to share the love. If you like what you're hearing, tell your friends, family, cohorts, associates, and encourage them to listen from the beginning, because the lessons do build one upon the other. I do this to encourage spiritual growth and health. And I just think the world will be a much better place when we all start tuning in and living from our soul's awareness. And so I am really grateful that you are listening. I'm encouraging you to follow or subscribe, and I appreciate it, right? As always, thanks for tuning in. Legally speaking, this podcast is presented solely for educational, spiritual, and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for medical diagnosis, treatment, or the advice of a physician, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat a health problem or condition. Always check with your doctor. Thank you.